I'm the Director of Energy Management and Sustainability at Ithaca College. Well, it means a lot of different things. It means that I'm tasked with helping to support and direct the sustainability efforts at IC, but also lead the climate action plan and our path toward reducing greenhouse gas emissions. It means to lighten our resources, that's a big piece, but it's kind of more than that too. We need to soften our impacts, but we need to do it in an equitable way that kind of balances things for all people and things to make sure that we're in good shape, not just now, but for many generations down the line. I'm a bike commuter. It's kind of a pain coming up here. Usually in the winter days too, that's a pain. But it's enjoyable too. I mean, like I'm not gonna lie to you. It's work, but it's enjoyable. But also, that's a softening of the impact too. It's a simple thing. It's a small thing, but it's that's one practice. I volunteer with commission in the city on sustainable issues, so it's kind of like doing what you do today, but also contributing as a citizen as well. And investing in sustainable practices too at my house and beyond that too. That's important. Yeah, I've been in this role for about 18 months. I came here from county government, local government, Tompkins County. I was an associate planner, worked in community planning, and I worked there for 15 years as the Department of Planning and Sustainability at the county. There's a lot of good pieces. I actually just thought the other day, I've had a lot of great jobs, but this is probably my most enjoyable one. I think it's working with the student population. I mean, I get a lot of energy. I was an adjunct here for a period of time. I really liked those days when I came to campus. But I hear great stories and ideas from students every day that really makes me excited. That's probably my favorite piece. The LEED is the standard for green building, which is leadership in energy and environmental design. LEED buildings often have these built-in systems too for collecting waste in different trash containers. Just make sure you're splitting out renewables and splitting up waste that way too. So that's an important piece as well. There's this gigantic solar chimney here that collects light and refracts it through the space. So you need less interior lighting, but also it's a chimney of sorts that kind of brings fresh air through. We have 4 LEED Platinum spaces. The first, it was the business school, which is a LEED Platinum building. The PRW was the second, and at that time, this is the 2008, 9, 10 time frame. This is the first college in higher ed that had 2 LEED Platinum buildings, definitely in the Northeast. So we were seen as a real leader at that time. A lot of other schools have, now since built other buildings, but those are 2 pretty remarkable buildings that we can learn a lot of great things about. The other 2 spaces that we have certified, the classroom link that's just out here is considered a space. That's not a full building, but that's a LEED Gold standard. And then Athletic and Event Center is also a space that's LEED certified at the gold level that has really interesting features on it too. That signifying tower, for instance, is a natural ventilation shaft. That's a really interesting component that I learned about from our maintenance team too. Well, I think it's back to student knowledge of knowing more about kind of integration with their coursework, developing skills as a kind of a sustainable environmental citizen. I think that's the most important piece. One of the things that I think that people should know is like to understand spaces, and also let people know too if space isn't working well for you. We want to not only learn from these great newer buildings, but we want to hear if there's something going wrong with your residence hall, your building. Like, we don't know unless you actually file a maintenance request if you need something fixed. I mean, we should know if that's not working so we can get that fine-tuned. You should also know too that the college has a comprehensive environmental policy. That's a really important thing that I can tell you more details about, but it really kind of speaks to all of us of things that students, faculty, and staff should be engaged with while you're here, and then take that information as you go out in the community too. Yeah, we have different swings on demands, and part of my job too is managing our energy supply, but also thinking through the watching usage and thinking through kind of our managing our bills on that front. So, we have different times where we use different types of power differently. We certainly use electric a lot more in the summertime. It's a heavy use on that front. And then we use, in these colder months, we have more of a natural gas use. That is something we're working toward, trying to transition away from that if we can, but it's a cost-effective fuel, but it also is a greenhouse gas producer, We have, it's important clarification, 100% renewable electric use. So we do own and manage our own solar farm up in Geneva, New York. That's a small 2 megawatt farm, so that's about 10% of what we require for electric, but it's definitely something, it plays a role. We have we buy into community solar project up in Lansing, New York for some other renewable energy as well, but we pay for the added kind of wind, basically it's usually a wind makeup, for the added kind of electric sourcing. So we have 100% electric energy. What's not renewable is the gas front. So that piece is partly why we want to transition away from there, because that makes up the biggest chunk of our greenhouse gas emissions is the natural gas component. So that's something that we're looking to kind of digest a little more. So that's not a renewable component, 100% electric renewable, which I'm really proud the college is dedicated to doing that. But we've done that for 5 straight years too. We just got recognized for the EPA on that. But yeah, the natural gas is certainly not from a renewable source. A great spot to go is the sustainability webpage on ithaca.edu/sustainability. I keep a lot of things there rolling. You have my contact information on there as well. You can look. We have all the latest greenhouse gas emissions reports are on there. The STARS report, which is one that we do for higher ed for all sustainability, you can read that there. There's also a sustainability dashboard there that gives you a sense of kind of different kind of key metrics on things like water use, greenhouse gas emissions, energy use, that type of thing. So you can read more, particularly these questions about energy, you find out more there. This plan, it was a 2009 plan, basically stated that we're going to be climate neutral by 2030 and gave a path for how to get there. It's a dated document. And certainly there's new realities now too in terms of funding opportunities and other technology changes, and also we're a different size and style institution than we were back then. But it gives you a sense of kind of like what those main goals were and kind of gives you a sense of some key actions that we're hopeful to refine here too as we move things forward. The good news is we're from that 2030 goal, it's basically a 40-year action plan. We're already halfway there. They're accessible, and hopefully they'll be even more so. We have 4 free EV chargers, free as of right now. We have one that's a dual port in the visitor's lot and one that's a dual port in the circles. The visitor's lot's the best spot to go. I think it's a good, reliable one. The use on that is pretty amazing too. We have a lot of unique users that use that. It's not just the same people. These are at core a group of folks that are paid executive board members that help to spark different activity and education around campus. Historically, there's been projects that they've worked on, like composting at the circles that they coordinate on Sundays. That's something that this current group has picked back up to, and it's basically something you can help to facilitate food waste kind of collection, and they're growing that to the garden departments now too. They also operate a on-campus reuse center called Tioli, take it or leave it. There's a lot of opportunities, I think, to expand that too. There's a lot of interest in that. I think that could be something that grows. I'm looking forward to it this year. So Sustainability Week is the week that leads is either leads up to or from Earth Day. So it's that kind of, I think it starts on Monday the 22nd, and it's an opportunity for the campus community to come together to reflect on what we're doing, but also to hear from more resources to help inspire other actions. So it's kind of an opportunity to bring some of the community to campus, and also for us to talk between ourselves to kind of draw some inspiration on kind of things that are happening around us, but also think through kind of avenues for what we can do moving forward. So there's, guest lectures, there's community events for us to kind of interact more across disciplines. The fair as well, and other even like service type projects too, like a trail-based project was at the end of the week, and actually that tied nicely into the South Hill Forest Products event that they had up in the maple syrup operation on campus too. So it's an opportunity for reflection, but also it's fun, but also to inspire added action. There are several different things that came out of last year that helped inspire projects for this year too. Yeah, whatever your passion lies, I think start with that and think about, everything can be kind of a little more environmentally mindful, and thinking through kind of what you're working on, I think is a really great thing to do. And I really want to learn from more people too in other disciplines, how we can do things better and how we communicate things, but also what actions we can take on campus to do that.